About that, even Huddy and Kovacs now have seemingly demanded their respect from Stroll and Sky, who have given up the Rebels. Roost already moving out. Likely that they had a bad drop here, and these small micro changes will absolutely create domino effects. So what we're looking at, 7th place now, doesn't have as many teams there. We already know Vino and Clix had a little bit of a different situation unfolding at their drop. Peterbot and Boyo had a team move out, right? All of these teams now have to make adjustments.
But Venom moving in quickly towards that launch pad. It's evident with the forecast tower in sight, there's going to be a brawl stemming out of Sandy Steps, but also drawing in the attention of teams surrounding this southern section of the map.
Look at this.
Stored Reels definitely getting active.
Our Alex, Power Worthy continuing to perform very well on the drop. But that mid game, they can tighten things up, possibly leave the reels faster. They'll be better off. Angle's looking good here. All shield bubbles expended, but look at the distance. There is, of course, more players coming in.
Love this snap fly adjustment out of Cooper and Kanata, though. They recognize, hey, we had issues with Surge. What better way than to try and third-party teams that won't be expecting it? Alex and Worthy, they're still trying to chase down Merstash. They find the second elimination. Malabuka and Merstash fall yet again to Oshi, but now Kanata, Cooper, they're not gonna let them relish in the moment for even a second. Kanata immediately breathing down the neck of Alex. He's trying to get a scramble out, but he hasn't had a chance to regenerate anything. He's just hoping that his teammate can try to provide some relief, but Kanata and Cooper, they finally find Alex, and that's gonna be the end of one half of the Oshi Power Boys.
And you can see Alex's only concern there was, let me buy time for my teammate to get out. We can still play this game. So Worthy looking to secure as much loot as possible and then rotate out. Meanwhile, seems like EU's Chap and Teeny here are going against NA Pars and Baka. So far, so good for Pars and Baka, who have a defensive hold inside the factory, but Teeny and Chap likely feeling like it's a little dangerous to step in now. They're gonna take what they can and move on out, it seems.
Teeny possibly reverting back to his old ways. This Chap next to him seems like they want to look to try and apply some pressure to any teams that might be looking for some easy fishing strats over by the dock next to the ship it station. Yapko and Swizzy on the other hand, popping off at the raft. They're gonna manage to find threats in the process. And this triple contest situation just continues to heat up, but this is a very different brutal beachhead vision in comparison to what we've been used to seeing.
Yeah, we got Cow Gamer, Haman here now, up against Andilex and Sato. Nicely done for Haman, finding Sato with a big elimination here. Now Cow Gamer has to win his ones, going toe-to-toe for the shot there. Andilex extremely weak, but instead causing the backup, and beautifully done as Haman finishes the deal here for Middle East. And they're gonna find themselves a wonderful set of eliminations. Now the drop is theirs, no Acorn and Cold, so clearly a rotate must have happened and a lot sooner.
They're not the only ones countering some slight adjustments to loop path and rotation strategies early on. Rico, Flixie next to Booga and Aviv, but at the same time, some damage was clearly applied. Whether that came from Booga and Aviv, didn't necessarily get the chance to see, but Vico and Flixie are now inside of the cemetery, and there's a very high likelihood that they're just looking and waiting for the opportunity to make a play for the weapons bunker nearby.
Take a little quick highlight here as we walk away. Unfortunately, King and Phaser gonna be some of the duos caught out. Old risky play walking into a building and a team sitting in the attic. What can you do?
It's almost like how we saw Huddy and Kovacs sitting inside of a bush in match 7. Like a lot of these players, again, you don't really want to get messy. You don't want to cut any corners. You've got to make sure that you are checking every angle, proceeding with caution every step of the way. Otherwise, you might just find yourself off guard. Braids completely exposed. Huddy had the overhead view, but didn't manage to connect the shots.
Still like this angle here. Plenty of gas in the tank here for Huddy. He slides out. Visual and Braids put up a great fight so far. Huddy opening the distance here, still keeping tabs on the opponent, making sure the teammate doesn't find too much of an angle on him. And then you have in the bush, in the distance, in the base, Muzz and Epic Whale just listening ever so closely. Meanwhile, Peterbot and Pollo making up for match number 7 here in match 8. Trying to farm and fish for tags, right? This is their biggest problem in match number 7. Now that they're uncontested, basically didn't get to get those early fights, right? Things have gone a little bit differently for them. It's becoming a lot more difficult.
It's the same for Clix and Vena, though. They've